Hey everybody, welcome back to What's It Costin' with Heather Austin. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to save money at the grocery store. And I can go on down the list, but the very first thing I'm going to say to you is no matter what it is that you are trying to stop doing, whether it's trying to save money, stop overspending, stop smoking, stop sinning, whatever it is, you have to have a plan. And you have to know what's going to tempt you. Whether you're at the grocery store and you don't want to buy candy, then you have to know that candy's tempting you. So how are you going to avoid that? What are you going to do when you see that temptation? Same thing with smoking. Normally we have a group of people that we go outside and smoke with at lunch or whatever. How are you going to avoid that temptation? So whatever it is that you're trying to stop or whatever you're trying to start doing, have a plan of action that's going to help you achieve that goal. And how are you going to fight off the temptation? What are you going to do? All right, so let's get started. So first, you're going to have to know what you have on hand. So in your pantries, your cabinets, and your fridge and freezer, look and see what you have. And then you're going to plan around that stuff. So that means you're going to have, let's say you're going to have a soup. And you have all your ingredients, but you don't have tomato paste. So then on your grocery list, you're going to write tomato paste. And make sure that when you go to the store, you do not go grocery shopping without a list. Make sure you have a list. Stick to the list. Tell yourself, I will not buy anything that is not on this list. And you stick to that. So that's discipline. You have to discipline and make sure you have a food budget. If you don't have a food budget, you're not going to know what you are going to spend. You're going to say, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to stick to the list. Your list might come to $200, but have a budget. So if it's $100, make sure you stick to that $100 and be very aware of how quickly it adds up. Try to buy generic things. Now, do not go all at once and buy generic because then you might have a lot of food that you just do not like. So every now and then, just play with it. I like a certain kind of mayonnaise and I have before purchased a generic. I did not like that. So there are things I can do generic. So I do get like the cheaper milk and things like that. So just experiment for yourself because everybody likes different things. So experiment with that. Buy in bulk. So when I buy chicken, I don't buy the small pack of chicken. I buy the family size chicken and I try my best to meal prep when I'm using the chicken. So of course I don't fix it all at one time. I can't, I'm not gonna eat it. So if I know I'm gonna have chicken a couple times that week, I look and see, what it is I'm gonna do. And if I'm gonna have chicken fajitas, I will go ahead and dice my chicken up. So I do that. If I'm not gonna use it, then I stick it in the freezer. That way I do not waste. So wasting. Don't waste food, people. It's so expensive. So groceries is like the number one expense or the most expensive expense that you have. It's, you have your house payment, your car payment, and the next thing is food. We spend more on that than anything else because we have to eat. So don't throw food away. Now, if you are overcooking food and you have leftovers, eat your leftovers. Don't throw it away. If you just cannot eat leftovers, then cook less food. Now, I cook leftovers. I love leftovers, and that's what I take to lunch to eat. Now, I also do a leftover night. So sometimes on Thursdays on my way, from work and then we got church, I'm like, okay, fend for yourself, eat the leftovers. If you don't want to add leftovers, fix you some cereal, and my daughter's married and moved out now, but my son's 17. If he wants to, he can fix himself a scrambled egg sandwich or something like that. Normally we have some leftovers, but there are so many easy things that he can do for himself. So always have a spot in your fridge for your leftovers. Now that will help you to know, okay, do I need to cook anything today? Or if you're in a pinch and you're in a hurry and you don't really have time to cook, you can go to your leftovers. So have a designated spot and make sure you don't throw it away. Eat what you have prepared and save yourself time and money. Unit price. Okay, so when I was starting out with my budget, I remember going to the store with my children, and I was like, I had spent way too much at the grocery store. I was very wasteful. So when I first started seeing how much I was spending at the grocery store, I was like, okay, let's do a budget. So my children would help me. I would push the buggy and they would they would take the calculator and the list and they would add up for me. And it was fun and it taught them. So as we were doing that, I would talk to them about the unit price and I would show them just because this says it's on sale does not actually mean it's cheaper. So always look at your unit price and it'll say per ounce or per serving. So look at that and that's how you're going to know if you're getting your best deal or not, because not everything that's on sale is actually cheaper. So unit price. So my kids, they were really young. I want to say John was like 5 whenever he was understanding unit price. And I would always say, okay, both of you go and get something you want. And this is the amount of money you both get a piece. So go and get what you want. They would come back with things that just blew my mind because they were getting more for their bang or more bang for the buck, however you say that. But they would be like, I'd be like, that's not your favorite food. Why did you get that? And Hannah and John both would be like, well, this will last me 2 weeks, or look how much I got for this amount of money. So, teach your children, teach them while they're young. And, Hannah still shops very smart. She's very smart with her money. I'm so proud of her. So she still does unit price and she's not wasteful. And I'm just so proud of her for doing those things. Let's see. Organize your pantries and your fridge. Organize, people. If you're organized, you can see what you have on hand. And let's say that you are just in a hurry and you can open up your cabinet and you can see just by looking. You don't have to dig through things. Now if I open my cabinets right now, you're going to see that my green beans are in a row, my corn, my carrots. It's just like at the grocery store. And when I bring my groceries in, I take the time to pull my stuff forward, put my new stuff in the back. That way it does not get wasted and I no longer have to look at expiration dates. So that's a very good habit to get into, and it saves you time in the long run and it saves you money. So meatless night. Have a meatless night. You don't always have to have a meat when you have supper. And you can do things like eggs and pancakes. There's just so many ways. Salad. So just try a meatless night and see if you can save money in that area. But there's things you can do, you can still enjoy. And people really get me when they say, well, I can't afford to eat healthy because it's so expensive. If you compare what you're paying to your fruits and vegetables to the junk food, I promise you your junk food is more expensive. And when you're eating the healthy food, you're getting your nutrients and vitamins that you need, which means that less doctor visits, you're healthier. So it does not really make sense to me. So I hear people say it all the time and it's not true. It is not true. Compare the prices for a bag of chips. When you eat a bag of chips, do you really get full? And I hear people say, well, I don't get full on fruits and vegetables. But the chips is not filling you up either. And you're not getting nutrients from it. So to me, I would rather, even if the apples and stuff does cost more than the junk food, I'm coming out better with the fruits and vegetables. So be aware of those things and be aware of where your money is going. Stick to the budget, stick to the list, and be prepared. Meal prep if you can. Now, I do not meal prep. I would rather have the fresh food every day. Now I do meal prep as far as cutting my stuff up when I can. And I really do good sticking to my budget. Even when there was 4 of us here, I stuck to $100 a week. And so now there's 3, which my son, he eats more than my daughter did. So he's like, for 3 people, he's pushing 6'4", and he eats a lot. So it's a family of 3, but really we're feeding a family of 4. So I hope that you get some good tips from this. I hope that it helps you. Leave some comments below letting me know what you do, and give us some tips, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next time on What's It Costin' with Heather Austin.